Good morning, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. My name is Ben, and this is going to be July. July monthly reading for 2021. I always forget what day, year, and month it is. So, yeah, like I said, it's for Taurus, but it can be for anybody, and it's also meant to be timeless. So whenever you're watching it is when it's going to be meant for you. And if you'd like a personal reading, the link will be in the description down below. Also, all my other links are in the description, anything that you may be curious about. So, it is first come, first serve for personal readings. I only have a couple openings, not a couple, but I have limited openings each week. So, first to book is the first that gets readings. Okay, so already, while I was shuffling, I barely even started to shuffle, but 4 swords, 8 of Wands, and Knight of Pentacles. So, I'm going to be doing a different spread for the July readings and try it out. My normal spread, if you've been part of my channel for a while, is past, present, future. But I don't want to limit energy like that anymore. I just want to completely free, completely open. Whatever messages come through are the messages that come through. And also because I want to get to Oracle in these general readings. Usually I only use Oracle in my personal readings that I do for people. But I want to use Oracle in general readings too, because I have so many decks and I feel bad because they just don't get to experience the general public. You know what I mean? So I want to do that. So I'm going to do a different spread. So I'm going to pull a couple more tarot cards here. And then some clarifiers, and then Oracle. Okay, so let's see. Okay, all right. So I also have different tarot decks that you guys have never seen before on my channel because, like I said, I usually don't get to them unless I'm doing a personal reading. Okay, so don't ask me the names for any of the decks because I will not remember. I have a lot of new decks and I don't quite remember the names, but my regular decks I do know the names for. So this deck I don't know the name of it, but it's a tarot deck and it's really cool. So for the last couple cards down here, I'm going to use this deck. So we have Ace of Cups. Beautiful. Isn't it beautiful imagery? Like, I hope there's not a glare. I hope you guys can see it. It's just like, look at that. That's the moon. These cards are so pretty. I'll pull 3 down here, actually. And Pleasure. Okay. All right. This just reminded me of a movie, but I can't think of what movie. So if I think of it during the reading, I'll let you guys know. On the bottom, we do have Loss in Pleasure, which is the 5 of Cups, because this is the 6 of Cups right here. Interesting. Okay, all right. So now we're going to pull our clarifiers, and then we're going to hop into this. So I really don't know what movie I'm thinking of right now. Something with a little girl and a mother with red hair. She doesn't have red hair in this picture, but she has a red shawl on, and it made me think of red hair. But I can't think of what movie. So if that makes sense to you, there you go, because I can't think of it. It looks like a little blonde girl. Anyway, let's pull these clarifiers, guys. I hope you're doing well. Alright. I was about to pull clarifiers, but they're like, nope, keep shuffling. Okay, so Page of Swords. So somebody's watching. I'm going to leave that down here. Somebody's watching you, okay? Someone's keeping an eye on little Taurus over here, okay? And apparently we're just going to do this, so. Because like I said, I'm not placing restrictions, so whatever comes out, it's just going to chill over here. So we have the Star, again with the 6 of Cups, okay? And the Queen of Swords. Oh, man. Rip. Well, I'm sorry to inform you that this is going to be a heavy reading, at least for this energy right here, because before I even pull any more clarifiers, I'm just going to address this and get it out of the way. The part of this reading is going to have to do with your childhood trauma, okay? Not for everybody, because this is general, but some people watching this reading had an abusive childhood from their mother, okay? And so I'm just gonna leave that there for a second and pull clarifiers. So if you're not mentally in a place to be hearing about that, I wouldn't watch this reading, because it's gonna get deep. Okay, so like for me, I also had I was badly abused my whole life for 15 years by my biological mother. So like I understand this energy. I think that's why Spirit's wanting me to talk about it, but it's gonna be very heavy. Okay, so if you're not in the mental space for that, keep that in mind. Okay, so that's why probably I had to keep shuffling, because that had to come out. So literally this is for that. All right, so let me pull the clarifiers for everything else in here first. I mean, on a plus side, this is nice. But this is going to get heavy. Okay, that's probably why we had to use this darker imagery deck down here. I'm going to pull clarifiers for these. And yeah, all right, I guess I'll pull. Oh, come on. Guys, I just want to give you a hug. But I can't. I will give you a virtual hug. So I'm just gonna address that first, because it's just you're gonna think about it and I'm gonna think about it the whole reading. So we're gonna do that first, okay? All right. I'm gonna dive deep into this, right? I'm gonna do what I'm meant to do right here, but I'm gonna try to do it in a way where it's not ridiculously heavy. Okay, so for the people this applies to, if this does not apply to you, then kind of just sit back and listen and learn about people that it does apply for, because if you haven't experienced this may give you some insight. Maybe someone you know has. So the people of you, the ones of you that have experienced abuse, okay, in childhood from a maternal figure. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mother, but it's a female, okay? Now, stick with me here. It's a female that had did this to you, but this female's energy was mostly masculine, okay? Because like how we've talked about in the past, masculine does not mean male and feminine does not mean female, okay? So this female, biological female that had done this to you in the past had mostly masculine energy, all right? And man, this is going to be a heavy one. So the way this person treated you when you were a kid, how abusive they were, how worthless they made you feel, but you were also dependent on them because you were a child. All of that, which I'm gonna dive deeper into that in a minute, but all of that is affecting you in your adult life because you are now dealing with a twin flame or a very significant soulmate who is also a masculine energy, okay? And because of that, it's triggering you about the abuse you went through as a kid, because it may have been a female doing it to you, but because they had mostly masculine energy in general is going to be very triggering for you, okay? And on a twin flame journey, if you're just a soulmate with somebody, you can apply that. But I'm going to stick to one timeline here because this is very important. So for the twin flames that have been abused in their childhood, okay, that's what this is about. So when you're dealing with your twin flame and you meet them, they're going to be in masculine energy because you have so many blockages from your childhood that have to do with masculine energy. And the whole point of a twin flame is to trigger you to heal the deepest wounds within yourself. So your twin flame is going to be, literally, they're going to be everything that triggers you because they're supposed to, because it's meant to. They're meant to show you what you need to heal within yourself, okay? So it looked like you recently started your twin flame journey. And when I say recently, I mean within like the past 2 years, 3 years, or even less than that, okay? That time frame. So I would say probably 2 years max. So under 2 years and under is more recent for a twin flame journey. And when that happened, when you connected, because you can know your twin for a long time, but you activate each other at a certain point in your life where you start the journey. Okay, like for me, I knew my twin, we worked together for years, but we didn't activate each other on the journey until a couple years into knowing each other. And that's when things got chaotic and ridiculous because we suddenly triggered each other and activated the journey. Okay, so when that trigger activation happened for you guys, it brought up everything. Like, it brought up like past relationships, everything you've been dealing with in your life, but most importantly, specifically, the abuse from your childhood. Okay, and the exact same thing happened to me. Like, I think that's why Spirit really wants me to dive deep into this, because I really do understand. I'm not going to say I understand exactly what you went through, because we all went through different things, but I was also, what I'm explaining right now also happened to me. When my twin and I started our journey, I was so triggered because she is biologically female, but she has mostly masculine energy, and that's exactly what my biological mother was. And my twin also liked to go out and drink and party. She wasn't, and my mother that abused me for 15 years was a horrible alcoholic. So it was like, that was like the biggest trigger to me. Like, I can't smell alcohol, I can't be around alcohol, I don't date anybody who drinks, or I didn't in the past, because I couldn't handle it. Like, it was way too much for me. Like, even the smell of alcohol, I would go into a panic attack. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm going to try to do this reading without getting upset, because I'm feeling you guys' energy and I'm feeling mine. So this is going to be deep, okay? You're going to get to know a very deep part of me, and I'm getting to know a very deep part of you. All right? So I'm going to try to keep it off of me, though, because I want to explain for you guys. So when this happened, okay, because the reason I'm mentioning that is because the Ace of Cups here can be over drinking, okay? Drinking too much. The overflow of a cup here. So an alcoholic female from your childhood was very abusive to you, okay? But it was also cruelly ironic because you were so dependent on them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mother, like it was in my case, but there was somebody that you were very dependent on as a child to take care of you. They were not taking care of you. They were doing the opposite, okay? And it's going to get even deeper, okay, guys? With the devil here, this is going to be hard for me to say, too, because it has to do with me. But the devil energy is a sexual energy, okay? It's possible, maybe not for all of you, but for some of you, there was also sexual abuse in your childhood, all right? That is also true for me. That's why I'm having a hard time talking about this right now. But it's important, and we can heal together, okay? So maybe it wasn't from the female that we're mentioning here. Maybe it was somebody the female had around them. Like, for me, it was a stepfather he was a pedophile, so he was sexually abusive to me and my siblings till I was 15. From like when I met him, I think I was 2 or 3 till I was 15. That's a long time. And that really messes you up, okay? So if that does apply to you, it's not going to apply to all of you that have been abused, but the ones that have had sexual abuse, okay? You currently are most likely in feminine energy, okay? Regardless of gender, because when you're in feminine energy, you are okay with emotions with people. Like, think about your relationships here, okay? Your relationships from the past, or even ones that you're in right now, if you're with a soulmate instead of your twin flame at the moment. You are most likely in a relationship where it's emotionally codependent. What I mean by that, because I did the same thing, is it's not a relationship that's about sex. It's more, if you have to go do things, you want this person to be with you. Like, if you have to go to the store or you have to go to a doctor, that person is like your emotional crutch. Like, you want them to be with you. If you're going through something emotionally, they're the first person you run to. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for a lot of feminines, their part of the healing journey for feminine energy is healing codependency. So the relationships that you're going to be in are very emotionally codependent, whereas the masculine, your twin, is going to enter into relationships that are very sexual and chemistry and 3D based, where their relationships aren't like that. They don't run to their person with their problems. They'd rather deal with it themselves or just suppress it completely and not even talk to anyone about it. But they'll go enter into a relationship that has great sex. You know what I mean? They're going to do the opposite, whereas people in feminine that start the journey in feminine energy, which is most likely you in this case because of the abuse, are going to avoid overly sexual relationships because of the sexual abuse and in general physical abuse in your childhood, okay? Because anything with your physical body is going to be very triggering because of that, okay? Like I said, that's what was happening with me. I was very uncomfortable. Like I could, okay, now great. Now I'm just gonna spill my deepest darkest secret. It's not secrets, but like for me, nobody could like touch me, nobody could hug me, nobody could do anything. I did not like any sort of physical contact when I was up until like 20, I want to say. And then although I'd had sexual experiences before that with other people, but it was I give it, okay? That was my coping mechanism. Like I'm also gay, by the way. So I could give it no problem to people, but I would not receive it, if that makes sense. So that was me. That was how I coped with it. And I'm like, I can live the rest of my life like that. Like I don't have to receive anything. I can just give it because I'm really good at it. But that was me in denial about anything happening to me because of the sexual abuse in my past, okay? So when I met my twin, she was the opposite. She was very attracted to me, and there was a lot of sexual tension there, which made me panic because I never felt that, okay? I have never felt the want or the urge for somebody to do something to me. I have never felt that in my life because I was so uncomfortable with it, but I felt that with my twin, and it scared me, so I was gone. I was out. I wasn't doing it. So the whole point I'm getting at here is that is one of your biggest blockages right now is your physical body, okay? Whether it has to do with sex or not, it could just be in general. Any sort of intimacy physically is very difficult for you, especially emotionally, okay? And I only have 13 minutes left. It's possible I'm going to make a part 2 to this reading, but we're going to see, all right? Because I know I'm focusing heavily on this, but that's what this energy is. I'm kind of summarizing everything in here, all right? So, I don't know. I think that I might have gone deep enough in that, okay? Where it's, those are the big triggers you have, all right? Alcohol could be one. The sexual abuse, like I said, with the physical intimacy. And then specifically masculine energy, okay? Those are 3 very big triggers here for you. And like I said, I understand that because those are also 3 of my biggest triggers. That, I mean, I'm better now because I'm a couple years into the journey and I've healed a lot of that. But of course, that's something that takes a very long time to heal, is that that level of intense abuse from childhood, okay? And your masculines also went through abuse, but it was different, where theirs was a lot of mostly emotional and manipulative and abandonment. So all sorts of emotional issues your masculine has here, okay? Because the Emperor is the masculine twin flame. And the 3 of Swords here, their heart is just like shattered, like from everything they've been through in their life, okay? And because of that, they hold back from anything emotional. Whereas the feminine energy holds back from anything physical and sexual for the most part. Like I said, you may have had sexual encounters, but be honest with yourself. You know you have not given yourself 100% to anybody, ever. And I can agree with that. That doesn't happen because you're like, I can live my life without that. Like, I don't need that. Like, I have a friend who's getting married, in a few months, and the 2 of them, like the person that they're marrying, because I don't want to say if it's he, she, whatever, because that's their business, but they don't have any physical intimacy. Like, they don't have sex at all. You know what I mean? And if you choose to be like that, fine. But the reason this person entered into a relationship like that is because they also went through abuse in their childhood. Okay, so they found a relationship where they're avoiding that. But avoiding that is the opposite of healing. Okay, you do need to heal that. Okay, so that's the point of a twin flame journey, is they're going to force you to heal that. All right? Because when you and your masculine have both healed, you're going to come into union, and it's going to be, you're going to, trust me, you're going to cry, and it's a good cry though. Like, you are going to get very emotional the first time you truly connect 100% in every way with your masculine, which includes sexually, because it's going to be so intense. Number 1, because it's a twin flame connection, and number 2, because you have never done that. You have never given yourself fully to somebody else sexually, okay? And like I said, even if you had sexual encounters, there's always been that barrier of some sort, but there won't be a barrier with your twin flame. So it's gonna freak you out, and it's gonna freak out your twin emotionally, okay? Because they've always had that emotional barrier. So you guys are gonna be learning from each other, all right? And when you come into union, it's gonna be like this massive, like, weight is lifted off you, because you can both be 100% vulnerable with each other, which you've never been able to be with anybody else. Okay, so I know this is heavy, but I promise you there's a reason that you're going through it. Okay, there's a reason we went through that horrible abuse when we were kids, because now we're going to get to the point where, number one, we can help other people. Number two, we truly understand ourselves better. And three, the reward for that, I know it's a weird way to put it, but the reward for that is a complete, true, honest, 100% like intense connection with somebody that you're not going to run from, that you're going to just be able to enjoy. Okay, so it's very fucking intense energy, and I'm sorry this turned into that type of reading. I did not expect that at all. I didn't even expect to share what I just did about myself. So it's very, like, this is a very open reading. So I do want to pull some oracle though, real quick. Okay, I want to dive into this a little bit more here. This is a very heavy reading, so if this does not apply to you, then it just does not apply to you, because not all of you are going to have dealt with this in your childhood, but the ones that did, I really hope this reading helps you. Alright, so let's see. Man, I am like hot now. That was intense. Alright, so we have accelerated motion, solitude, and destiny. Yeah, okay. So, like I said, solitude. This is being very... This is a feminine energy here on this card, okay? Regardless of gender, feminine energy, like I said, is very comfortable with solitude, because they like... Well, actually, feminine energy likes solitude in a sense where they can be very into... Like, they know themselves very well, but because of trauma from the past, they become codependent emotionally. So it's like in every way, like especially physically, they'll take care of themselves. But when it comes to emotionally, they're very codependent, all right? And masculine energies, they don't like being alone. That's why they settle for these mediocre, fake relationships, you know what I mean? Because they literally have somebody next to them, but that person doesn't know them at all, truly emotionally, or know who they even are. You know what I mean? It's just to have somebody around you. So it's different, where there's that emotional barrier for the masculine, but there's an emotional codependency for the feminine. So it's a mirroring going on there. But with accelerated motion and destiny here, like I said, this is all part of your path, okay? You when you're going through something, you may not understand why you're going through it, but after you go through it and it's in hindsight, you understand that it came full circle, okay? And there was a reason for this. There's destiny for it. And with accelerated motion, this is you healing, okay? You are healing from what happened to you, right? You may have been healing slowly over the years, but when you enter into a twin flame journey, it's going to completely accelerate your healing, which means you're going to get triggered more than you ever have in your entire life, because triggers will heal you if you work on them. Okay, so it's going to trigger you like crazy. So let me pull some more cards here. This is one of my new decks. Again, I don't remember the name of it. This was a Psychic Oracle. I don't know the name of this one that I'm shuffling right now. I'm just pulling random decks from my box over there, so whatever ones we pull out is what's meant for us. And I was gonna... No, I'm not gonna do it, because it's not that reading for that. I was gonna make a joke about when I just said pulling out, but it's not... I can't even make my humor, because it's so heavy. But usually I would make a joke about that. So, wow, look at that. Cave and Sanctuary, again, being alone. New Moon, Promise, and Harmony for music. Okay. Well, it says music and harmony. I just said it backwards. So, also with the solitude, okay, when you enter into a twin flame journey, you are going to go through separation with your twin. And the point of this is because you guys need to be alone to heal. It's like when you activate your journey, they're going to trigger the shit out of you. Like every single thing you've gone through in your life and you've been avoiding feeling, they're going to bring up. Okay, and then they're kind of like, all right, bye. Now we both have to deal with this by ourselves. You know what I mean? Spirit will separate the both of you and be like, okay, now that you have these 75 million triggers, separate and heal them. So that's what you're doing. Okay, so that's what you're working on. But new moon is a promise. Okay, a new moon is a new beginning. It's a new moon will always happen, at least for now, until the moon like explodes. But for now, it'll always happen. Okay, it's always a promise that there will be a new beginning. Okay, a new moon will always happen, at least for now. And there'll be a new beginning. Okay, so take comfort in that promise that things will always begin again. Okay, and with music here, use music as a coping mechanism, as a way to connect, even connect with other people. She's actually playing, I don't know what this is. That's a violin by the look of it on the right, but I don't know what this is. It almost looks like a type of guitar / harp, but it's in the shape of a T, so I don't know what instrument that is. Maybe you do if it's significant to you, but with the letter T for some reason. But for music, like for me, nobody has heard it. Like I make music and people have heard some of the instrumental stuff that I make, but I actually write lyrics and I use my voice. But nobody hears that because that's just for me. You know what I mean? Like maybe one day I will share that, but I'm not doing that right now because for me that's just coping mechanism. Like how I truly feel emotionally, I put it into music. So if you hear my music, you understand me much better. And that's why I kind of keep that to myself because it's only for me, you know? So maybe music is going to be a very big coping mechanism for you. If you're not making your own music, it's just music in general. Like for me, I always have to have some sort of music on. Like no matter what I'm doing, like it's always playing on my phone or it's playing on my PlayStation or it's playing in the car. I need music, you know what I mean? Even when I do these readings, sometimes I have music in my head because it's like I need... That's how I live. It's like I live through rhythm. I live through beats. I live through harmonies. I live through music. So that's for me. So music, guys, don't underestimate the power of music. It's very, very helpful. Let me think. Is there a song that would help this situation? When I was in high school, there were certain songs about abuse from a mother that I used to listen to, and it would help me just because it gave me something to relate to because I didn't know anybody else who had been through that really. So there's an artist, her name is Crystal Bowersocks. She was on American Idol when I was younger, but her mother was also very physically abusive to her, and she has a couple songs out about that, and I don't remember the name of the songs because it's been a long time, but check that out if you want, just as something to relate to. It's not like overly sad. She's just talking about it and how she's better now. You know what I mean? So there's stuff like that. There's some others that I can't think of right now, but don't underestimate the power of music. Okay. Oh, another one, "Concrete Angel" by Martina McBride. That's a big one for me. "Alyssa Lies" is a country song. That's another one. But yeah, there's songs like that. But yeah, I want to leave this on a good note, guys. So like I said, this is really fucking heavy, okay? And after this, please go take a shower, take a bath, go stand out in the rain, do something with water to cleanse yourself of this energy because it's really fucking heavy, okay? And I know that. And go do something that's gonna uplift your spirits, or go talk to somebody about it. You know, go do something for that. If you want a reading that goes more in depth on this, you can book a personal reading with me. But if not, please just cope somehow with it, deal with it somehow, don't avoid it, because that's going to make it worse. So, but like I said, on a positive note, you have such a beautiful future coming your way with your divine union. Okay, once you get through this energy, this really heavy shit, you're going to enter into a beautiful ending for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So you have that to look forward to get you through this. And my timer was just at 111, which is also confirmation that this is going to be beautiful. It's going to be the calm after the storm, okay? It's going to be the new morning after the dark night, you know? So look forward to that, okay? As heavy as this shit is, but thank you guys. Thank you for sharing this with me, and thank you for giving me a place to share this as well. I feel like we just connected, which is beautiful. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. And be happy and smile.